Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. And let me just try it. Stream isn't available just now. Try again. Why is it not streaming? And it is. There we are. We're live. There's 15 watching. How are you this evening? So, Celtic news. We'll wait till some other people jump online. Wait till some more people jump online this evening and see who's all in the house. If you are online, hail, hail, San Fran Celtic is in the house. There we go. San Fran Celtic is in the house. Are you happy about the winter break? The winter break has been cancelled. We'll get in. We'll just fire straight in with the Celtic news till some people jump on board. So I just watched the Celtic video of Big Rocky. Big Rocky, the 22-year-old who basically at the start of the season found himself with a hamstring injury. That Kilmarnock game. Remember that Kilmarnock game? And after that, he just made 3 appearances. He struggled to get back into the team, but he was thrust into the limelight, was Big Rocky, when we played the Sevconians, the Rangers. That's the game that we won 2-1 just before the winter window. We'll talk about the winter window in a minute. But Big Rocky said that he was disappointed to not be in the team. He said, "I'm happy that I could finally play now," said Big Rocky on Celtic TV. He says, "I think in the beginning I played 3 games before the Rangers game." He said it was hard to get into the team. The only thing I could do is work hard and be prepared to take my moment. And yeah, it's happened. And I want to try and stay in the team as long as I can. What will happen when Cameron Carter Vickers walks back through the door? I think we're going to have to ease Cameron Carter Vickers into the team slowly because let's face it, with the injury that Cameron Carter Vickers has had over this season, it's we need to make sure. We need to make sure that it's just we ease him into the team. We don't need to thrust him right back into the team. Right, let's get some of the comments. Kaiser's in the house. Evening to you, Kaiser. Deanne's in the house. Evening, Smell the Glove is in the house. Chris McNally's in the house. Simi's in the house. What part of Spain are you in? Here, North Belfast, aka the Hop. If you're in North Belfast, you know Simi Dara and West Belfast. It's the Costa Blanca. It's not far from Alicante. Baz, can you just turn the volume up with the output level? I'll just turn Scott. Let me just go on to this and I'll turn the output level up. That should be a little bit better. Let me just turn that up a bit more. Volume up on that. Should be a lot better. It's showing it's better on this anyway, so it should be okay with you now. Desktop is down. And turn that. Yeah, that's it. It's all good in the hood. Anyway, Scott's in the house. 1771 Tara is in the house. Paul Emery's in the house. Desmond's in the house. Chris is in the house. Joseph's in the house. Kaiser, just give CCV full time, all the time he needs for recovery. No rushing him back. Yeah, Kaiser, I think the same. There's no need to rush him. We finally got Rocky on the pitch. Rocky was interviewed today for Celtic TV for something I've no idea, but Rocky is champing at the bit to play from now on. I think it's good that we've got all these players, but it still does say 4 or 5 or 6 doesn't go into 2 positions. Doesn't go into 2 positions yet, Kaiser. That's just some people need to just turn their volume up. Need to turn their volume up, right? Make sure you give the video a big thumbs up also. And share. I believe in a time go. Share the video. Share the video. No winter break. Not really needed anyway. Glad it's gone, says Paul Baird. Right, let's get back down to the title of the video. No more winter breaks. I've done that wrong. I need to go and connect that. Give me 2 seconds. Why has it done that? I'm going to come out here. Oh no, I need to go back into there. Just 2 seconds till I do this. And I'll just do this live. There we go. Save that. And we are back. And then I'll jump back into the studio. There we go. It's all good in the hood. No, I don't want to insert lads. Yeah. When it comes to the winter break, I'm glad that it's gone. Glad that it's gone. It wasn't really needed. The winter break is a luxury for a winter break is only needed in countries in Northern Europe. They get really bad snow. I mean, you can understand why they do it, but they changed their season. They start their season earlier. But there is news about the season next season. With obviously there's no winter break. The season starts on the 3rd of August, which is good. Getting football right back at the beginning of the summer. Well, just towards the end of the summer. The final three league games will be on the 17th and 18th of May. 17th and 18th of May, and then obviously the Scottish Cup final will be at the end of May. The SPFL have organised the Vidplay Cup first round to take place over the first three weekends, and the final is to be on the 15th of December. That's just usually what it is anyway. The second round will be played the third week in August. Again, August. It was the cup came far too early for us, but we should have been in there. We should have been in there. It's fair to say that additional slots required for UEFA club competitions next season have made scheduling more challenging than usual. More challenging than usual. So they're obviously knowing that Celtic, Rangers, and at least a couple others will hopefully get into Europe. Anyway, we get bad weather sometimes. Hi. Yes, the penalty spot gets flooded. The sides come off. I don't even want to talk about them. No want to talk about them. What about Big Rocky? We'll talk about Big Rocky. He did that interview today and said that he's experienced highs and lows in his Celtic career so far, but he's battled back from that injury that he had at the start of the season, and the former Legia Warsaw player wants to crack on. For me, it's always going to be the case. It's who's does he actually take over for Cameron Carter-Vickers? Because when Cameron Carter-Vickers comes back in, um, it's going to be an interesting time. It's going to be an interesting time. But I'm just glad that we've got the players that we've got to cover those positions because let's face it, at the start of the season we were champing about the bit. Anyway, Stuart Ramsey's in the house, Crow's Tail 88. Have Celtic have always done well after the winter break and the Hunts have always struggled, which is good. Yeah, that's one thing that since Brendan Rodgers was here the first time and we always go on a good run after the winter break, but it could be now, could go back to the old days. But then again, we only played each other twice, and it was whoever won the Glasgow Derby back in the day, and basically went on to win the league. It was always said. But I think those days are well gone. Celtic have got a bit of dominance with them again. It is going to be tight in the league. Let's not kid ourselves. If they win their two games in hand, I was doing a bit of gardening earlier. And I got something in my eye. Jesus, that's the. Anyway, we have 20 games left now to win the league. Smell the glove says if we reach a cup final, we've also got that as well. Hail from Stirling. Stirling is in the house. Joseph says summer football is required instead of fan rushing for trains and buses, planes. Shocking. Yeah, Joseph. I think I've always been an advocate of I think we should increase the size of the league. Getting rid of the winter break is something that I've spoken about before. I think the winter break is past its sell-by date. I mean, it got shorter and shorter every year. I mean, at one point it was about 4 weeks, and then they got it back down to just under 3 weeks, which I think is ridiculous. If you're going to have a proper winter break, you've got to factor it in right. But we don't because of the European setups and everything, and we're trying to give. Now, there's a thought, right? The SPFL have just said that they're struggling to schedule games in because of UEFA club competitions next seasons, right? So should we then start our league a little bit earlier? Right, so here's what I'm going to put out to you. Should we start our league a little bit earlier to get the teams up to speed? Because how many times in the past, of Celtic specifically, went fallen at the first hurdle. Celtic have fallen at the first hurdle many times. Well, trying to get into the Champions League when we've got to go back and try and qualify to get into the Champions League. It's never good for Celtic. Going back to the Ronnie Dyler years, it was a complete nightmare. Should we start the league earlier? Should we increase the size of the league to only play each other twice. I think we should. I think the whole thing playing each other 4 times is dead for me. It's dead. The split is dead for me. It brings nothing to the game. You can understand the split at the bottom end of the table. You get a bit of excitement with the playoffs, but surely you could still have a playoff system. The split for me needs to stop. I think it makes the league look completely ridiculous, especially when you can get a team that finishes in seventh position and they have more points than the team that finished in sixth, and they're basically getting done at I don't know, £500,000 or something in money. But then again, who's to say that they would finish in seventh? You know, they might finish in fourth or something. You never know. I think the split. I mean, that's a conversation for a whole nother day. But the winter break is gone. I think the split needs to be next. We need to get rid of the split. It's just ridiculous. But we need to. I would like to keep the playoff system because I think the playoff system is good for the league and it gives a little bit of excitement down that end of the table and something still to play for. Let's get back to the comments section. Hazel says Rocky's been playing okay. Let CCV build himself up slowly. Yes, I completely agree with you there, Hazel. He keeps trying to come back too soon and breaks down. We have the cover. We do have the cover, and I think we should be. Here's a question for you as well. When it gets to next season, what do we do with Bosun Lowell? What do we do with young Bosun? Because he's a player that should be in and around there. He's about the same age as Rocky and Lagerbielke, and we've put him out on loan. Now, we did put him out on loan to get some game time with Scott Brown, who, by the looks of it, is getting lined up for another job. We'll talk about that in 5 minutes or so. Scott Brown has been linked with another job in Scotland. So, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, when it comes to Cameron Carter-Vickers, he's definitely a player that we don't need to rush in. You know, we can bring him in 30, 40 minutes at a time. We can bring him in the second half. Do you think? Give me a minute, Mark, and I'll get to that. So when it comes to it, despite all the chat about Cameron Satter Vickers offered a new contract extension, Celtic will sell him in the summer if they get an offer between 15 and 20 million. Paul, you're probably right about that because of the situation I was just talking about. We've got Lagerbielke that's came in. We've got Rocky that's there. Young Bosun Lawwell has been farmed out. We need to bring him back and get him back into the team. You know, so what do we do? What do we do? For me, I think that we shouldn't rush him back. Cameron Carter-Vickers should be brought in the second half, about the 60th minute. Ange Postecoglou used to always make changes on the 60-minute mark. Just bring Cameron back in easy and get him. You know, we don't need him until the sort of last quarter of the season. We don't really need them to make sure. But then I'm sure the defenders that we've got, I mean, we can't take anything from the Bucky Thistle game. Let's face facts. I mean, it was Bucky Thistle. We need to get back into the league and see how the likes of Rocky is going to compete in the league and on an ongoing basis. I know that we won against the Rangers, but anyway. Air United would be good for Bruni, says Chilpil. Stealing the thunder again, Chilpil. That's just what I was going to talk about. Yeah, no, it's been out there for a few hours now. Scott Brown has been linked with Air United, which I think is a good move for him. I don't know too much about Air United. I don't look at the lower leagues. But according to Mick Bookie, who claimed that the former Scottish international is in contention after a surge of betting on the 38-year-old. Bruni's only 38. He could still be playing, couldn't he? Bruni could still be playing. He could. Let's face facts. I know he would get his totties on the pitch, as us Pfeiffer would say. He would get his totties at one end of the pitch with young 20-year-olds legging it in front of him, just like off. Bruni, see you later. But he could do that whole midfield position, a bit like what Paul Lambert and Lenny used to play. I know he played that towards the end of his career, but he could. I think he could still do it. I think he could still got it in him. But he wants to get into management. Since being out of work, since he got the punt from Fleetwood Town, who have went through a crazy spell, they're on something like the third manager this season. With Sisters Pants got the job, didn't he? Charlie Adams, Sisters Pants. I wonder how they're singing that down there. I wonder if they even know it. Anyway, I live in Ayr. The Huns down here are just getting over Aidan McGeary being here. Never alone the Bruni. Oh, that would be fantastic. Anyway, Kieran, looking at Scales' faces when The wind caught the ball over the top wall. You can see the wind there. Yeah, the wind was something else yesterday at the game. So hats off to everyone. I know that a lot of people left early at half time when we were 2 0 up, and a lot of people left early to try and get trains and buses and things. But fair play to the ones that stayed right to the end. Hazel says, what happened to Mitchell Frame? I thought he played well in his cameo, but yet again, we had Bernaby still on the bench on Wednesday. I know it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one when it comes to the younger players. I mean, for me, we should go back to the way it was like under Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill had about 6 or 7 youth players in his squad. We need to get back to that. I'm sorry, but all this nonsense that we were going to go for a Liverpool player, right? Liverpool stole Ben Doak from us, right? Um, there was absolutely no chance that Liverpool were going to let a young player go, and especially permanently. They're not going to let him go on a permanent basis to Celtic. Not a chance. I don't care how good a relationship Brendan Rodgers has with the club. You know, their manager down there isn't daft. He's not daft at all. So it would be interesting to see if young Mitchell Frame can get back into the team because Bernaby being on the bench is just a waste. He needs to get punted out on loan. There's still a bit of time left in the transfer window. There has been a bit of speculation tonight. Where is it? No, there hasn't. Scott Brown. Oh, yes. This one broke a couple of hours ago. Well, no, in fact, about an hour ago. Sources say that Celtic are ready to accept an offer for Benjamin Siegrist. Celtic are ready to offer. Celtic are ready to accept an offer for Benji Siegrist before the transfer window closes, with multiple European clubs weighing up moves. The 31-year-old has been linked with Sturm Graz. That deal fell through. His third choice goalkeeper behind Joe Hart and Scott Bain. Scott Bain is always going to be your number 2. Siegrist has just made 2 competitive appearances since he joined Celtic from Dundee United in 2022. He's only made 2 competitive appearances. News of a loan availability has alerted clubs across Europe that Benji Siegrist could be put out on loan until the end of the season. He'll be put out on loan to the end of the season. His contract is up. When is his contract up? When is his contract up? Is it 25 or 26? I'm sure it's 26. Let me just see. Yeah. Siegrist is under contract until May 2026. So if we put him out on loan, it means that there's only really a year left on his deal come this summer. So it would make him a more attractive buy for a team that wants to take him on loan with an option to buy. So it looks like we could hopefully get rid of Benji Siegrist this window, which would open the door. It would open the door for Celtic to be going looking for a goalkeeper. It has been suggested that Celtic are still trying to get the Liverpool goalkeeper. There is absolutely no way will Celtic pay anywhere near what's the offer on 2 Cornettos? Take it. It's Kaiser. Oh my goodness. Kieran has just said, I want a chocolate chip one, Kaiser. Baz Bendok went to Liverpool because Brendan Rodgers wasn't going to play him. Behind the scenes, more, I think behind. You've got to look at the beginning of the season, right? Got to look at the beginning of the season, Joseph. And then when you look at the players that were all thrust upon Brendan Rodgers, right, all these players that he had to sit and go through, and now it's players that he had never seen play before. Now, he knew the Celtic squad, he knew the players that we had, he'd been watching the games, he'd been watching Celtic games. With the 9 players that came in, he's starting with scratch with them. So it's no wonder that we're at the position that we're at now. You can understand why he said to the young boys, he said, look, I'll give you a year extension and we'll put you out on loan for a year just to get you game time so that you're away for the B team. But when it does come to the likes of Ben Doak and that, he wanted to play first team football. He thought he should be up there in the first team. So does Rocco Vata, his agent. his dad. He reckons they should be in the first team also. And it's fine. They should be, yes, they should be in the first team squad. I'm not disputing the fact that they shouldn't be in the first team squad. I think these players, if they're good enough, should be in the first team squad. Putting them out on loan to crazy little clubs is just mind boggling when we're buying in players at the same time. So, anyway, we need to get rid of the deadwood. One of them is the goalkeeper that we did get for free, but he is contracted until May 2026. Benji Siegrist. I noticed that Benji Siegrist during the winter break, he was spending a lot of time in the gym working on his upper body physicality. But with the news that's coming out today that Celtic are ready to accept offers for goalkeeper Benjamin Siegrist on loan until the end of the season. But will it be with a loan with an option to buy? I think that's what Celtic really need to be pushing for, and in fact, no, an obligation to buy is get them out the door, and then we need to think about is who we're going to bring in. There's all the speculation we could all talk about what keeper we would like in, but Celtic are getting linked with nearly anybody that was a goalkeeper. So anyway, Paul Baird, zestly agree. I think Dyson Rio will be sold. Yeah, who's saying that? They probably will be. Pablo, world better than the injury-ridden Rio. Must keep Paulo. I think so. I think it comes down to the European style of play as well. I think I want to call him Paolo Martini. Jesus, here's a drink. Right, like the new, cool daddy says, like the new late out Baz. Yeah, it's good. What I will do is the time. Where is it? It's down there. I will get the time changed so it's at Celtic Park time. It's obviously my local time. So yeah, I will get that changed. I'll get it changed tomorrow. Tomorrow, and then, but yeah, does have the live subscriber count as well. So if anybody wants to subscribe, the count will go up. The count will go up, and if you want to unsubscribe, the light it'll go down. So you'll actually see it live. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on over the last 2 weeks, just making sure because it's. I've got to be honest. All the Celtic podcasts, as good as they are, and there's some cracking Celtic podcasts out there that all look the same. They all look the same. So I needed to do something to try and stick out from the crowd. Paulo, the hairy Lombardo. Come on, that's Portuguesist. I thought Seagrass was good keeper. I don't understand how it's turned so bad for him. Says Stuart. I've no idea either. I've no idea either. He starts speaking properly. Do need to sort out the video though. Anyway, what other Celtic news? Rocky, we've spoke about Rocky. We have spoke about the SPFL has took away at last the winter window. Not the winter window, the winter shutdown. The winter shutdown is absolutely nonsense. The league starts back on the 3rd of August, which is great because it's right into holiday season, all holiday season here. Everything shuts down for the whole of August. So I'm ecstatic with the fact that football's back in August. No winter break. Um, when does it say when the cup final will be? No. Europa Conference League qualifiers will be played in July and August, so it's looking at Scottish teams and the fact that they're going to be playing in these competitions in July and August. I still think that we need to change something with the fact that we play far too many games. Right, anyway, Christopher, hail, Baz, buddy, I'm going to stay on this one. All right, Barry, yes, John Paul, I am fine. Smell the glove, Baz, just move to one of the Canary Islands so you don't need to change the time difference. Don't even talk about that because it's something that we spoke about during the winter. It's because the winter, this is our time of year for bad weather, and we're expecting a lot of rain just now. If it doesn't get rain, it's going to be a bad hot summer. Anyway, can you subscribe twice? No, if you go to another, you need another channel to be able to subscribe twice. Let me just move on to that. Looks great, Baz. Hill, buddy. Right, let me see if there's any other Celtic news. Stephen McGinn expects sea change. says trio will leave. Oh, that's right. That's coming out of Hale 67. I've posted this pundit expects Joe to leave alongside Joe Hart and a wholesale change. One of the big questions Brendan Rodgers has to answer is who will be the number one goalkeeper. We've just been speaking about that. We've just been speaking about that. Steve McGinn thinks there'll be a sea change in Celtic's goalkeeping situation in the summer. That's what we've been talking about. Well, there's no use reading that then. Sorry, Hill 67, I just stole your thunder. Hamish, but I was just reading out some of the headlines. Yeah, I think when it comes to the Celtic goalkeeping situation, the fact that Celtic are amazing stuff, Baz, and all this for free. Yep. Thank you for the lives. No worries, Kaiser. No worries. I love doing it. I love doing it. I need to change something on this because I don't think the picture is as crisp as it could be. Anyway, the league final is on the 15th of December. That's where treble number 9 starts. It says smell the glove. Will Brendan Rodgers? Nah, we're not even going to talk about that. Let's get this season done and done. Let's say you're complaining about rain. No, I'm not complaining about rain. We need rain badly. This part of Spain has officially been in drought. Has officially been in drought for about 6 months. So no, I'm not complaining about rain. We really need it. We have had a bit of rain recently, but nothing compared to what you get back home in Scotland. And then until then, we had the last spot of rain we had was September last year. Anyway, let's move on from the weather chat. Andalusia, yeah, that's cracking done there. Torremolinos, stunning. Gets about 8 days rain a year. €1.50 a pint. It can still be €1.50 a pint. Nowhere is doing one. It must be the worst beer ever if they're doing €1.50 a pint. I pay €2.70 a pint. Yeah, I just said that. I did just say that. €2.70 a pint. No, that stuff. Anyway, why are we talking about Spain? Anyway, plenty of rain here, Baz, if you want it. No, thank you. I was home twice last year, and it was probably twice too many times. But no, I want to get back, and I want to start going back to the football because we need to get the flight prices down. I need to book early flights. So as soon as the comes out, I will be booking flights for football this year. Celtic Rangers set for season change, major shake-up in the SPFL. There's a major shake-up. There's no major shake-up. See when papers go out with these crazy headlines, and this is Glasgow World. Glasgow World. Celtic and Rangers set for change in 24-25 season as the SPFL announce a major shake-up. Shut up. Ange Postecoglou signing heading for January exit. Who's that we're talking about? And it is Benji Siegrist. Yeah. I mean, that's just why put it as a that's a see some of the I'm not even going to say it because you'll probably find it yourselves. Celtic are plotting a loan to buy move for target club record fee. I've seen a lot about this. Footballfancast.com. I'm seeing a lot of people now. Where is this story coming from? Because it's not coming out of Celtic, right? I mean, there's another article coming out that Celtic are looking to plot a loan to buy move for the Liverpool goalkeeper. Now we all know that Liverpool goalkeeper is Irish and he would probably walk up to Celtic, but there's nothing coming out of Celtic. The only thing that we know is Joe Hart's going to leave in the summer. Right? Benjamin Siegrist is not rated by the manager. Right? The manager worked with the Liverpool keeper when he was at Liverpool, obviously. He was a young lad at Liverpool, so he knows him when he came through the system. He is only 25-year-old. Celtic are planning a loan to buy move for Kelleher, but Liverpool have set the asking price of 20 million. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. 5.50 a pint in Donegal. Jesus. Oh. You need to get a stream at 1440 with the high bitrate bars. Yeah, Kaiser, I'll get in touch with you about that because I'm using OBS and then I'm running it through Homo. But I reckon I could change HD. Oh, I'll just leave that on because I'm running it through another. I'm running it through two different softwares to get the fuzzy background. But anyway, €5.50 a pint. I can still get a pint in Los Cristianos for under €1. But come on, Los Cristianos, the not the best beer. It's Torrelinos, lovely last summer, Harbour brilliant, the cafe cold, Metro does great dishes. He's really talking about summer holidays. Can we push on? Liverpool keeper is only becoming because he's Irish. Yeah, that's the only thing that people are. There's no way Celtic are going to pay 20 million for what is it running through? It's running through OBS, and I've no idea what it's running through Kaiser. We'll talk. I'll give you a shout tomorrow afternoon if you're about. Dorada is nice. Yeah, Dorada is Dorada. 20 million for a keeper for the next 17 years. Will he stay at Celtic that long, though? Let's be perfectly honest here. The lifetime of a goalkeeper at Celtic is probably about 5 years. Are we going to spend 20 million on a goalkeeper to keep around about 5 years and then try and sell him? And we're going to take a massive loss. Um, I just find it mind-boggling. Our board wouldn't pay 20 million if available if Messi was available. There's no way. There's no way. I'm talking pure about the rest of my life. That's it's Kieran Allen. I'm 45 and Bill Medina. I'm 50. Oh my goodness, you're all talking about the price of pints in Spain. Anyway, right, let's move on to that. Let's see what other Celtic headlines are kicking about. Official Champions League account highlights brilliant Celtic performer. The Champions League, which will return soon. Champions League, aka that's Fraser Foster. There's nothing. That's old news. There is absolutely nothing kicking around about Celtic this evening, which is right. What about VAR yesterday? Let's get talking about VAR. VAR. Two of them, I would say, the two of them were never offsides. I mean, you were talking about an elbow. Pipe dream thinking Celtic was spend many more than 5 or 6 million for any keeper, says Matty McIntyre. The fact that Celtic paid 4.5 million for a goalkeeper before, and we then let him go for absolutely nothing. Say it again. What is it good for? Absolutely. I'm just, oh, fuck. I don't know. Pipe dream. It's all pipe dreams. Right, how long are we going? I'm only staying on for half an hour, right? If you paid 20 million and had them for 5 years, you wouldn't lose any money. Yeah, Paul, I can understand that. And it only if we got into the Champions League. Reports of this Icelandic keeper, yeah, is he not went somewhere else though? Kaiser. The Icelandic keeper is actually signed for someone else. And it was only it was said that he was linked with us before he signed. Transfer indicates it. Aye, yeah, that's he's joined Rapid. Nope. Who's he joined? He's not. Is he not joined Atletico Madrid or something? Anyway, who knows? I'm sure he's joined somebody else, and it was suggested that we were up for him. Anyway, don't sing, Baz. I'm not going to. VAR shouldn't be getting involved till the quarterfinals of the cup. Gives me a wee tear and a good. It ruins. I mean, I thought when they tried to go for the penalty yesterday, I'm like, he's going to give it. He's going to give it. And Brendan Rodgers having a wee dig about penalty Rangers. was quite funny. We need a sticker on the board. Yeah, it's been a while since there's been a streaker at the football. It's too cold, isn't it? Just think the Euros is coming up. We need to find out what odds we can get on bets on how many streakers you'll get at the European Championships next year. It'd be worthwhile going up to Germany just to try and see if you can go as many games as you can, just to see a streaker, just for the laughs. Have you ever seen a streaker at the football? Here's a question for you. Tell me in the comments, have you ever seen a streaker at the football? And it's generally birds who decide to get their knockers out and run across the pitch. Maybe they've stopped it because women football is such a big thing now. But have you ever seen a streaker live at the football? I've never. And I went to the football for 20 odd years. A streaker, I have two belly buttons, both innies. It'll be a loan to buy option. Celtic will go for the goalkeeper. Nope. Kieran says nope. He's never seen a streaker either. I've never seen a streaker. Anyway, these streakers are barefaced cheeker too. Barcas. Yes. Oh, I don't even. Why did you have to go and ruin it by talking about Barcas? We're talking about streakers to try and lighten the mood on this Monday evening. Or in any other sport, strangely. Was it the snooker when there was a streaker? There was a streaker at the snooker. Come on. Seen a bunch of floods at my time when I go to Ibrox. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds got it. Yes, I am. Totally got it. You wanted something that you can hear a laugh and a giggle about. It's mind that time that daft. Oh, no way. It's too cold, mate. If you're if you're a male streaker, if you're a male streaker, you're not going to be doing it at this time of year, aren't you? Not a chance. I've seen a streaker at Falkirk. I'm talking about at the football. There's no way is there been a streaker at Falkirk Stadium. It's only got two stands. Has it got three stands yet? No, is it still only got two stands, Falkirk Stadium? Because it's too close. Is that the one that's too close to the anyway? I've seen a lot of fannies running about Parkhead December the 30th. Were they actually running about the December the 30th? Were they trying to create some noise? Anyway, I don't want to see your knocker. I don't want to see your knockers out. Anyway, that was just a bit of just a lightning chat tonight, just to ease us back into the lives. Was on TV. Was on TV. Jeff Ray's late to the show because we're not even sticking around for an hour tonight because there's nothing to talk about till the football starts, and then we'll get something to talk about. There's no news kicking about tonight. What you have missed is obviously it's three stance in the wee tent. Yeah, it is. It's the old Brockville. Care less about Euros. Scotland's won't be watching anyway. I'll be watching it not for Scotland, but I was actually thinking about going up to it because I can get a cheap flight up, but and going to a couple of games because I wouldn't mind trying to go to a couple of games, but you never know. We're supposed to be looking at the Romanian goalkeeper, says GT Boy 67. Headless chickens, Baza. Headless chickens. Yeah, I could imagine there would all be headless chickens. It's just sheer luck, Jeff. Yes, it is. We have been on since 6 o'clock, and although that says 7, it's my time. I'll get that changed tomorrow, so it is your time. Also, I had to explain to my American wife what a streaker was and knockers. Talking about American football, right? Have you seen the American football where it's all women and they're playing in bikinis? It's the most bizarre thing ever. It's the most bizarre thing ever. Anyway, I don't know how we got into the subject of streakers and everything. Anyway, I'm going over to Germany for a week. Best country to have a football tournament and says smell the glove. The closest I'm going to see a streaker at the football was streaky bacon. On your old. Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. Hand and egg ball. It's hand and egg ball. Kaiser. Anyway, that's enough entertainment for tonight. The big news is breaking Celtic news this evening is there is no Celtic winter break from now on. Celtic will not be going to Dubai in a thong football. Thong football. Kaiser, come on. Celtic will no longer be going to Dubai. And it's a shame because I think the players and everybody, they like their wee trip to Dubai. We all thought it was a bit strange that Brendan Rodgers decided not to do it this year by giving players time off to spend with their family over the Christmas period and the New Year period. But we'll see if it was worked or not. The fact that there is no winter break from now on, it'll be telling to see how Celtic cope with that because usually Celtic come back after the winter break and crack on. Maybe the fact that it is a bit of a change dynamics within the squad. You know, there isn't that hangover from everyone that was around for the 9 in a row. There's only really Callum McGregor and James Forrest that know what it takes to sort of go on a good run like this. Maybe they can instill that to this new day age player that we have at Celtic. Celtic are ready to make Benji Siegrist available for loan is the breaking news this evening. Celtic, Benji Siegrist, who's just made two competitive appearances since joining Celtic back in the summer of 2022, has he was lined up to go to Sturm Graz. That had been in talks for about a month, I believe, and then that deal fell through. And I wonder why it fell through. But sources are now saying that the 31-year-old, who has been linked with a move away from Celtic on a loan basis, hopefully it is an option to buy, or even better, an obligation to buy, so that we now get rid of him. But then it means we need to bring in another keeper for till the end of the season. Where does Celtic go with that? We have been linked with Kelleher, but a 20 million price tag on his head. There's no way Lawwell would just. Oh my goodness! Could you imagine Peter Lawwell if he said, Brendan said, "Look, I want him, but we'll get him an option to buy, and then we'll spend the 20 million." Whatever happens, we all know that the big man himself, Joe Hart, who's a nice fella, he's a nice fella, but his wife and kids have not been in Scotland the last 3 seasons. They've not been in Scotland the last 3 seasons, and he wants to then disappear off to America to see out his career in America. So, and Scott Brown, we spoke about Scott Brown this evening. Also, Scott Brown has been linked with a return to management. He's went from 4-6 down to 3-1 after a lot of speculation and people placing bets on Scott to be the next manager of Ayr United. So I wonder if Scott Brown will take up that, and I wonder if Celtic will give him any players on loan. If that gets done before the end of the window, will Celtic put out players to Scott Brown's team just to try and get them fit in? And that'll be an interesting one to watch over the next week or so. Because if Scott's really going to take a job, you want to try and have a look at the team and everything before he gets in. You want to try and still do stuff in this transfer window. Anyway, Diane says, see you later. Kieran says, hi. It used to be called the Lingerie League. Oh, Jesus. We're still going on about that. Anyway, on that note, we're done and dusted for this evening. We will be back at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. We'll be back at 6 p.m. tomorrow night with the lives as normal. Hopefully, everything will run fine. And on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans. Yes, you watching this right now, have a fantastic evening wherever you are all around the world.